love me, please don't judge me. Got my hands tied, the power's above me. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just a puppet here. If you wanna place blame, then look to the puppeteer. Family, fortune, envy, jealousy, privilege, passed on, legacy, secret, sabotage, borderline, felony, suicide, subtract, selfish, pedigree, yeah.
So Talladega was Sunday. So yay, Dega, the land of the buttholes for Dale. The house that Dale built. So Dega happened this week, and there was a lot of controversy coming this week after Texas, with driver safety concern at an all-time high, some tire issues for sure. And then there was talks about a potential driver strike or walkout, but in the end, none of that prevailed. Before we talk about what happened in the review, we had a lot of midweek free silly season to talk about. So, of course, I'm with the IndyCar silly season, as now we are in October and the end of September. The big question was, what happens with Alex Palou? Does he go to McLaren in 2023, or does he stay with Chip Ganassi for one more year of what will be hell? In the end, it went down to court, and in the end, the court ruled in favor of Chip Ganassi Racing. So Alex Palou will be staying with Ganassi for one more year, so he won't be leaving for McLaren until 2024. Damn, I don't know why Chip Ganassi is hell-bent on keeping him. Like, Alex Palou doesn't want to fucking race for you. Let him fucking go somewhere else. He doesn't want to be with yous. Like, honestly, I say just fucking release his ass, and that would have just ended this whole charade, but I guess Ganassi just wanted to be salty and be a sore loser about it. And whined and cried like a brat until he got his way. But in the end, this whining and crying comes at a cost for Ganassi. In the cost of Jimmy Johnson. As, yep, it has also been announced, Jimmy is retiring from full-time racing. Again. This time, it's for good, as Jimmy will not be running a full-time season next year. There have been rumors that he could run only the ovals next year, because let's be real, he's way better on the ovals than the road courses. The ovals, he actually had speed on. The road courses, he fucking sucks ass at. Let's not even bullshit ourselves there. Jimmy Johnson fucking sucks on road courses. You can love and defend Jimmy all you want, but at the end of the day, you can't even bullshit that. Anyway, but Jimmy, he's just looking now to accomplish whatever's left on his racing bucket list before he hangs up the helmet for good. They've been taught, because he did run the IMSA race at Petit Le Mans in the 48 for Action Racing. Question is, will he be back in that car for one more run for the Endurance Cup next year? Time will tell there. He might go to a lower class next year. He's even been rumored for that Garage 56 entry for the next-gen NASCAR that will run in the 24 Hours of Le Mans next year. Him, Mike, and the other two drivers in that rumored lineup are Jeff Gordon and Mike Rockefeller. Interesting lineup, to say the least. But yeah, Jimmy Johnson, though, he did say that he's not ruling out a return to NASCAR, the Cup Series. Because there have been reports that Jimmy is looking at potentially doing the Charlotte Indy double next year. And odds are that Cup ride will probably be, for the Coke 600, that Cup ride is probably going to be the 91 car for Trackhouse. And Jimmy also said he's also interested in the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro, which he's still eligible for because he's a previous champion and a previous winner of the All-Star race. And he also has interest in potentially running the inaugural street race in Chatoilet. So yeah, there's a silly season on that front. But of course, in terms of driver safety being high, here's another big concern of how high it's gotten. Alex Bowman is out for Talladega, as he suffered a concussion from his crash at Texas. Honestly, I'm surprised he got that concussion. That crash didn't even look that bad. It looked like a light tap to the wall, but just the way these rear ends are designed, it's just no give on it, and it's just a lot harder hit. Like if it was like the old Gen 6 or Gen 5 rear ends where that back end just completely collapses in, that Bowman would be fine, but yeah, just this car, this just the recipe of what happens when you rush a car too quickly. Just leads to so many flaws and bugs and so many problems. So whether Bowman is out for the rest of the year or not is yet to be seen, because it's only symptoms, not a full-on concussion. And Bowman's status for the Roval is unclear if he will ever even race in the Roval or not at Charlotte. Because NASCAR is giving Bowman a waiver if he's cleared for the Roval, but Bowman has to win the race. Now, HMS fans, I would say that was the worst news heading into Talladega this week, but uh-oh, hold on a second. William Byron was a bad boy at Texas because he did a sacrilege sin. He dumped Denny Hamlin under caution. It didn't fucking matter that Hamlin instigated that whole thing. And to be perfectly honest, what Hamlin did to Byron in turn 2, that's literally what Byron did to Logano at Darlington back in May. The only difference is Logano didn't dump Byron under yellow. He dumped him under green with 2 to go. Honestly, I would have had no problem with Byron dumping Hamlin if it was under green flag, but under caution, I don't fucking care who it is. Dumping someone under caution is a no-fly zone. That's a chicken shit move. Everyone's saying, oh, Hamlin should get a penalty too. For what? Hamlin didn't cost Byron any positions. He just was trying to protest after that because somehow NASCAR missed that whole thing during the race. It's like, how the fuck do you miss Byron dumping someone under caution? With all the cameras around and even every car in the field having an in-car camera. And you miss that? Like, NASCAR's race control needs to be adjusted. But anyway, William Byron, he must pay for his consequences. Byron needs to spin the NASCAR wheel of discipline. Let's see where it lands. Alright, here we go. Hey. Oh! It landed on Steve O'Donnell's choice. That's a bold choice. Now, for anyone confused about what's going to happen here, Steve O'Donnell's choice is the arbitrary punishment decided by Steve O'Donnell himself. So yeah, Steve O'Donnell, he decides the punishment just on basic trends in the NASCAR Twitterverse, and with extreme prejudice and with full intent on protecting the integrity of the sport. And all judgments shall not be questioned on bias. So anyway, let's see what the end punishment is from Steve O'Donnell. Byron gets fined $50,000 and docked 25 points. Honestly, William Byron got off easy compared to when Kyle Busch dumped Hornaday at Texas 11 years ago. Because in reference to that one, Kyle Busch got a one-race suspension for it. Byron got off easy from dumping Hamlin under yellow. Just Byron, be glad nobody got seriously hurt so NASCAR couldn't throw the book at you. Now run along and be free. And honestly, why the fuck is HMS appealing Byron's penalty? They're not going to win the appeal. They're going to lose the appeal. Because it's clear as day Byron intentionally did that. Byron didn't even hide it on the radio when he said he was he's tired of Hamlin's bullshit. And honestly, Byron, be careful about disrespecting Hamlin, since Denny Hamlin's part of the new driver council that speaks on behalf of all the drivers in the garage to try and challenge NASCAR's inconsistency and bullshit. But yeah, anyway, I think we talked enough about all the silly season news from this week. Let's get right to the action that happened at the track now. So first off, we got the truck race, and man, this truck race was an absolute shit show. Like, just everything that could go wrong in this race went wrong, especially early in the race with the Jordan Anderson crash. Send your prayers to Jordan Anderson because he suffered second-degree burns from his engine going kaboom, and then the truck catching on fire. That's not a NASCAR problem there. That's just an engine reliability issue and then a freak accident. Like, normally the engines normally don't go on fire like that. Like, that's very rare to see an engine failure end like that. That almost never happens. It's usually just a bunch of smoke and that's it. And yeah, the truck caught on fire, and then on the back straightaway, Jordan Anderson was literally trying to climb out of the truck while it was still going, and Jordan just came from mere inches from being crushed by the inside wall. Like, honestly, Anderson's lucky to even be alive because he came that close to dying. Like, if he was still hanging out that truck before they got to the wall, he would have got crushed and he would have got killed. But everyone's asking, why would he ever do that? Well, one, you're in a truck on fucking fire. He probably had no fucking brakes because either A, the brakes were lost in the fire, or B, there was probably flames near there and I'm not fucking burning my feet there. And he probably wanted to get the hell out of a burning truck because you don't want to stay in a burning truck too long. And honestly, I would do the same thing that Jordan Anderson was trying to do, and that's climb out of a truck. I'm not fucking dying in that damn thing just for NASCAR's entertainment reasons. Honestly, NASCAR could take that entertainment, shine it up real nice, turn that sumbitch sideways, and fucking shove it straight up their candy asses. And they can take the goddamn chase grid with them. But yeah, Anderson was able to climb out, but yeah, he got second-degree burns. As soon as they got him on a stretcher in the ambulance, they didn't even bother taking him to the care center. They just take-towed him, go straight to the helicopter. And he got sent straight to Birmingham Medical Center for further evaluation with second-degree burns. Honestly, I think Jordan will have a good, speedy recovery. Because Birmingham Medical Center, that's like one of the top hospitals in the world. Like, they got the best of that hospital. So, 100% Jordan Anderson's in good hands. I mean, if they find a way to fuck this up, then I have a lot of concerns about today's society. But yeah, send your prayers to Jordan Anderson. That was a scary crash, but to be perfectly honest, that could have gone a whole lot worse. Thank God Anderson didn't die. He almost died, but he didn't. Thank God. But anyway, back to the race, though. Just like this race was still a shit show. It only fitting we had a shit show ending to this race. Like, mainly Grant Enfinger took the biggest blow in the championship from this, getting caught up in a big one. Because coming to the checkered flag, we had a big crash coming to the line. And at the line, it looked like Brett Holmes edged out Matt DiBenedetto by 0.02 of a second. So Brett Holmes is officially a winner in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Jitsu. That finish meant absolutely nothing. Because the caution came out on the last lap. Within 500 feet of start-finish line. Why they did not let that race finish under green, I have no fucking idea. Probably for a driver's safety reasons, because we've been pressuring NASCAR to give more of a shit about driver safety. And I guess throwing cautions on the last lap counts as caring about it, or pretending to. Honestly, the one lesson we can take from this is, be careful what you wish for. Because it may come back to bite you in the ass. I still hate races that end under caution. Like, if the wreck's happening behind you 500, 1,000 feet from the start-finish line, just let them race back to the fucking line. Like, goddamn. So in the end, it came down to moment of caution. And it also came down to if Matt DiBenedetto was forced below the yellow line by Ben Rhodes or not. And let's be real, he was forced down there by... He didn't really go below the line. He only had 2 tires below, and I really don't count that. And Rhodes did force him down there. And then the question was, would Rhodes get a penalty for it? And to be honest, I'll say Rhodes, he didn't do enough to warrant a penalty. Plus, he didn't really gain any positions forcing DiBenedetto below the line. He actually lost positions. But in the end, at the moment of caution, and after all that reviewed, it was deemed that Matt DiBenedetto was the leader at the moment of caution. So Matt DiBenedetto was declared the winner. Holy shit, it happened. You've done it, Matty D. You won a truck race. Yay! And you took responsibility for being a dumbass last year. Yay! Maybe there is hope for you after all. So it has happened. Matt DiBenedetto is officially a winner in the NASCAR Truck Series. And he has finally won a race in a top 3 NASCAR sanctioned series of any kind. I'm actually happy for Matty D. He finally fucking won something after finishing second so many times. So yeah, now Matt DiBenedetto has a real reason to cry in his post-race interviews now. But yeah, honestly, I'm giving Matt DiBenedetto a second chance. Honestly, a lot of people that hate Matty D, it's just because he's fucking Christian. Well, it's not even bullshit there. Like, anybody that still hates Matt DiBenedetto, even after he owns up to his action and is willing to change, you'll have some serious issues. But yeah, congrats to Matty D on the win. Kind of wish it didn't come controversially. And everyone asking, well, should have Rhodes have gotten a penalty for that whole yellow line thing? No. But I have an easier solution to this yellow line problem. A solution I've been saying for like how many years? 3, 4 years in a row? How about just get rid of the yellow line rule and then there's no controversy? Because every fucking time we have every time we have a yellow line controversy in a race, the fan base can never fucking mutually agree on the call, if it was the right call or not. And the fan base is always divided all the goddamn time from it. And plus, NASCAR can't even fucking enforce it correctly. Because they've been always inconsistent with that ruling. They're always consistent inconsistency. So, if you're not going to enforce it properly, then what is the fucking point of having that rule in the first place? I say just get rid of the yellow line rule. Honestly, it's increased dangerous crashes than it actually prevent it. It's done more damage than good. Just get rid of the yellow line rule and problem solved. And before anyone's saying, oh, then everyone will go at 12 wide into turn 3. Well, if you're going 12 wide into turn 3, then you're a fucking talentless hack that shouldn't be behind the wheel of a stock truck. But yeah, that's just where I stand with that. But yeah, congrats to Matty D on the win. So with Matty D winning, that means only Ty Majeski is safe entering the round of 8 finale at Homestead in a couple weeks. And 3 spots will be up for grabs. We'll go over the Truck Series points at the end of the video. But yeah, Matty D officially has won a truck race. And let me just say, I called it. I said he was going to win Talladega. I called it. So I'll just go ahead and take my bow. So now on to the ARCA race at Salem Speedway up in Indiana. And this race, well, it's been like almost every other ARCA race the last few weeks. It was just a Sammy Smith show from start to finish. Wash, rinse, repeat. Like, Sammy was fast in practice, got the pole, led every single lap, wins pretty handily, easily. And Nick Sanchez had a bad finish while Daniel Dye had a solid run. So Daniel Dye gains quite a few points on Sanchez in the championship. Like, that was one of the real only interesting things about this race was the points battle between Sanchez and Daniel Dye, because Carruth had a DNF, so that officially eliminates Raja Carruth from the ARCA championship battle. So it's a 2-man battle entering the finale at Toledo next Saturday. Like that, and the only other interesting thing was watching Will Kimmel's run through the field to go all the way up to third, like just watching Will Kimmel charge through the field. That was like the only other interesting part about this race. Was just that. But yeah, the ARCA season finale is next Saturday at Toledo Speedway up in Toledo, Ohio. And we have a 2-man battle for the championship. Sanchez enters the finale only ahead of Daniel Dye by 2 points. So the top 2 in points are separated by only 2 points. So it's literally a wide open championship between Daniel Dye and Nick Sanchez. Sanchez has the faster car, but Daniel Dye has stayed in it off pure consistency. I mean, if there's a time for Daniel Dye to get his first career win, maybe Toledo is a good place for it. Or maybe does Daniel Dye become a winless ARCA champion? We'll have to see. But let's be real, Sammy Smith ran a full season. Sammy Smith would have won this championship handily. Let's not bullshit there. Like, Sammy Smith has easily been the best driver in ARCA all year, but he doesn't get a shot at the championship because he didn't run the whole season. But at least he got an ARCA East title, so there's his consolation. But yeah, also an exciting championship bout in ARCA. Damn! It's like we don't need a gimmick chase grid format to begin with. And whoever made the season-long points formats in the 50s and 60s knew what the fuck they were doing this entire time. I just wonder how long until NASCAR throws a chase grid in ARCA, because, oh look, an exciting season-long points championship bout with the top two separated by 2 points entering the finale? Nope, can't have that. We can't have nice things like that. But yeah, when an ARCA championship has more meaning than the Bill France Cup, there is a massive fucking problem. And for reference, the Bill France Cup is the NASCAR Cup Series trophy. That championship. And that championship is supposed to be the pinnacle, the ultimate prize of stock car racing in America. And when that title has less meaning than an ARCA championship, and ARCA has been the butt end of every fucking racing fan's joke for how many years, but when that fucking championship has more meaning than what's supposed to be the greatest, most prestigious championship in America for American stock car racing, there is a massive fucking problem. Just gonna put that out there real quick. So now we go to the Xfinity race at Talladega, and this race was actually very tame. It was a rarity at Talladega, a very tame race. Like, there was like maybe one incident for a spin, and that was Ty Gibbs, but he had no damage from his spinning in the wall. Somehow did a damn good job saving that car. Like, it was a very clean race for the most part. Like, to put this in perspective, every single car that started this race finished this race. 38 cars started, all 38 finished. Like, really, other than that spin, the only other cautions were really for stage breaks, and that was it. Other than that, it was actually a pretty good race. No incidents, no bullshit, not even a yellow line controversy. And this race ended up having a good battle on the white flag, with Sam Mayer getting the lead, and it looked like I thought Sam Mayer was going to have it until A.J. Allmendinger made the move on the outside to get the lead. And honestly, for much of this race, it looked like it was going to be Austin Hill winning, until Austin Hill and Noah Gragson made a little contact after Gragson had a run, and then Austin Hill made a bad block, and it shuffled them both back. Because Austin Hill had the car to beat all race. He just made a bad block, and it cost him. But yeah, it was actually a very clean race. It was actually a very good race. Very rare to see super speedway races that nowadays actually be good and not have any crashes. Because really, super speedway racing, it's kind of lost its aura the last few years. Because for the most part, it's mainly become multi-million-dollar demo derbies the last couple years. But yeah, this is kind of a great sight to see. No bullshit this week from Xfinity. Like, it was actually a really good race. But yeah, unlike the truck race, which was a complete shit show, but that's trucks. But yeah, A.J. Allmendinger wins the race in a photo finish ahead of Sam Mayer, edging out Mayer by 15 one-thousandths of a second in a photo finish. So yeah, A.J. Allmendinger, he finally wins a race on a non-road course this year. His first win on an oval. And it's also his first super speedway win. So yeah, even with Justin Haley gone, Colleague still has speed on the super speedways. But yeah, A.J. Allmendinger, he has now punched his ticket to the round of 8. So A.J. Allmendinger, and we go to the Roval next week, and A.J. doesn't even need to win the Roval next week, even though he's won that race, 3 years in a row? He doesn't even need to go 4 in a row, because the Roval now means nothing to him. Unless he really wants 4 in a row that bad. But yeah, AJ Allmendinger, him and Gregson are the only two drivers safe entering the round of 8 at the Roval. So yeah, at the Roval, there will be 6 spots up for grabs next Saturday at the Roval. Who will make the chase? Who will make it to the next round? And who will be sent to Elimination Station? But yeah, just a really good race. We don't need like a really good super speedway race. You don't see that often. But yeah, congrats to Allmendinger. And even though Allmendinger won this race, Allmendinger still said he still fucking hates super speedway racing. And also, for this Xfinity race, there was no political chants from the crowd. That is pretty weird for Talladega. Because normally, Dega's usually the one place we expect political chants to start. But they actually kept politics out for once. Rare W by Talladega race fans. Good. Keep politics out on both sides of the fence. We already got enough of them behind the scenes anyway, with teams cheating and shit. We don't need the ones in the mainstream media tries to shove down everybody's throats. And yes, I did see that newscast about NASCAR, about them talking about NASCAR's next-gen safety concerns. Of fucking course NASCAR is in the national headlines for the wrong reasons. This is nothing new. And honestly, that newscast was so fucking terrible. Like, they couldn't even get the fucking facts straight in that whole thing. Like, that terrible newscast alone is the reason why I don't watch the fucking news to begin with. Because all the news is, it's just the fucking media trying to shove their political agendas down everybody's throat. And it's just a massive turnoff. Like, the only news I watch are Sports Center, NASCAR Race Hub, and the Weather Channel. That's about it. And NFL Total Access. But yeah, that's just about that there. But yeah, really good ARC Xfinity race at Dega. Now to the ARCA West race at All-American Speedway. And well, this race had a couple comers and goers. It was mainly between the guys you normally see up front. Like, it was mainly a battle between guys like Joey Iced up there, Cole Moore, Tanner Reif, even Jake Drew. As Jake Drew was trying to gain some points to lock up the championship. But in the end, it was ended up between a battle between Jake Drew and Cole Moore. And Cole Moore was able to get past Jake Drew on one of the final restarts on the outside. And then was able to hold him off on a few more restarts. Despite Jake Drew's best efforts, he just could not get past Cole Moore. And Cole Moore finally gets his first career ARCA West win at All-American Speedway, his home track. So Cole Moore is officially a winner in the ARCA West Series. And this is also the 4th year in a row that the race at All-American has produced a first-time winner in ARCA West. So some pretty good parity for sure, and some drivers finally having their moment. But yeah, Cole Moore finally gets his moment. It also helps him gain a few more points in the championship. But let's be real, Jake Drew has that championship locked down. Because entering the Las Vegas Bullring race in a couple weeks, Jake Drew is one race away from winning the ARCA West Championship because next week, if Jake Drew can be at least 47, 48 points ahead of second in the championship, Jake Drew will officially clinch the ARCA West title at the Bullring in a couple weeks. And has the chance to lock it up a race early. Either that or he can enter Phoenix in a really good position for it. But yeah, Jake Drew, one race, so he has a chance in a couple weeks at the Bullring to lock up the title. And speaking of the Bullring, we actually do have a little ARCA silly season news because at the Bullring, for the first time ever in ARCA West history, we will have a mother and daughter duo racing together on the track at the same time as competitors. Because with sponsorship from eBay Motors, Sarah Burgess will be running the ARCA West race at the Vegas Bullring. And will be going up against her daughter, Bridget Burgess. I mean, it's an ARCA West race, but hey, that's actually pretty cool that we're gonna see that. A mother-daughter duo going head-to-head against each other. That's going to be pretty cool to see. That's going to be one of the main interesting things to keep an eye on at ARCA West for the bull raid. That and if Jake Drew can lock up the championship at Vegas. But yeah, that's actually pretty cool there. Just thought I'd point that out real quick for ARCA West. So of course, before we get to the Cup race at Talladega, there was an announcement coming up that was being announced 2 hours before the race. There are a lot of talks about what happened with it. No, the hurricane did not hit the track. The hurricane didn't really damage too many tracks. Like, the only track it really did any damage to was Daytona, which it flooded the living shit out of Daytona International Speedway. That's kind of a tragedy. It didn't even come close to hitting Homestead, so that's good. But yeah, that wasn't that. And even though there were rumors about a potential driver strike walkout for Talladega over driver safety, in the end, the drivers decided that they would still run the race and the race would still go as planned. And they would still compete and try everything they can to win the race. So, yeah. And also with Bowman now, this also means that Noah Gragson will get the shot in the 48 car. Get a little Cup experience before he goes to Petty GMS full-time. Now, whether this is a one-time deal for Gragson or if he ends up doing more races, it runs the remainder of the season, depending on what happens with Bowman, that's yet to be seen. But yeah, Gragson gets a chance in the 48 car for at least for one race. But yeah, and even despite all that, NASCAR still had an announcement to make. And in the end, the announcement is they bought the USAC 25 Midget Series. And next year, that series will be rebranded as the NASCAR Youth Series. And there's their little logo right there for it. So yeah, we have another NASCAR sanctioned series coming. It will still be run mostly by USAC, but it will be on NASCAR sanctioned tracks. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. And this series is actually going to be a tier below trucks and right above ARCA. So usually drivers that do well in Youth Series, they go straight up to trucks. I mean, hey, it might improve the talent pool in trucks a lot better than what we had coming from ARCA. Because, well, it's ARCA. ARCA, because usually a lot of the kids in ARCA usually wreck each other all the goddamn time. Like, they usually race with no goddamn respect. And it's a bunch of fucking spoiled idiot rich kids in fast race cars. And it just leads to total disaster and why the trucks has been a shit show. But hey, maybe the Youth Series will have a better track record at developing great young talent than ARCA has. I mean, you look at ARCA, like the only names in ARCA right now that actually are worth a damn are names like Sammy Smith, Nick Sanchez, Daniel Dye, Taylor Gray, maybe Jake Drew, and maybe Raja Caruth, and Jesse Love for sure. Jesse Love too. And I would have thrown Corey Heim in there, but honestly, Heim has run more truck races this year than ARCA races. And Heim's honestly done more in trucks than ARCA, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, ARCA does have some talent, but that's really about it, and a lack of veterans in the series, too. Mainly just a bunch of spoiled rich kids, with next to no veterans to teach them any respect. But yeah, maybe the Youth Series will have a better track record than ARCA. Time will tell there, but that's actually pretty cool. So yeah, and here's the schedule for it too. So yeah, those are all the NASCAR Youth Series races. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I guess we're gonna add the Youth Series to the recaps for 2023. So yeah, little hint there, more content coming for sure. So now we get to the Cup Series race at Talladega, the second race in the round of 12. So far in this chase, we've had 4 races, and all 4 were won by non-chase drivers. Well, you could make the case for Bubba Wallace at Kansas because the 45 is still technically in the Owners' Championship. But that's just a nitpick there. But this race was also kind of tame. Well, other than a 7-car accident early on in the race during stage 1, but really no one really got too that badly damaged except for like maybe Ty Dillon and a couple others. But other than that, it was still pretty tame for the most part for the rest of the race. I mean, other than a little bit of NASCAR consistency for Christopher Bell getting a speeding penalty when he was spinning on the pit road, it's like, why the fuck did NASCAR penalize Bell for that? Like, how the fuck are you supposed to slow a car down when you're spinning out of control? I think NASCAR did try to throw the flimsy, well, it's electronic scoring, so our hands are tied. It's like, dude, you literally control it. You literally control the system. You could just literally say, oh, no, that penalty doesn't count. So, yeah, Christopher Bell got penalized for spinning out on the pit lane. Yes, that's about as stupid as it fucking sounds. Like, how the fuck is Bell supposed to slow down in that situation? You can't. Like, you're just hanging on for the ride and hoping for the best. I should also mention the truck race that Carson Hocevar did intentionally spin out. And Hocevar actually got a 1-lap penalty for it. I mean, hey, that is a good call. That was actually a good call there. Like, Hocevar, I expected better out of you there. I'm pretty disappointed on that front. But anyway, back to the Cup race. Like, the first 2 stages were won by Byron and Chase Elliott. But this race had a lot of comers and goers. Like, this race was actually very tame. Like, if the drivers were willing to go out there and protect each other, they did a damn good job of it. Even though we did have a little freight train choo-choo action from Thomas the Tank Engine, it was still a very tame race. No real big wreck other than early in the race. But in the end, it was looking like near the end, we were going to have a battle for the win between Ryan Blaney and Eric Jones, with Blaney getting a push from Ross Chastain. Honestly, having Chastain pushing you in the closing laps at Talladega on a plate race is probably the worst thing that you could have to happen for you. Since we all know at any given point, Chastain will probably turn Blaney, then go for the win himself. While Eric Jones had Michael McDowell pushing him up the front too. Until with around 7 or 6 to go, when Daniel Hemrick would stall on pit lane and that would force a caution. Because Hemrick was literally inches away from pit road exit and near the pace car, so that was kind of a bad place to be in since there's no wall for the Dega from separating the pit road from the track and the infield area. And also, quick note, during that whole caution span, I heard a fan throw a cigarette onto the grass on turn 4. And it caused the grass to light on fire. Honestly, I can't even bash the fan base for that one. That's actually kind of funny. Honestly, that whole thing would have been a whole lot funnier if they threw a dildo out there. That would have been a whole lot more funnier. I mean, you can't even rip on the fans for that. That's Talladega fans. The fans literally don't give a shit at Dega. They just do what the fuck they want as they please and just want to be left alone. Like, that's just Dega. That's why the Dega crowd is so fucking I love the fucking Dega fans. They're just so fucking crazy and wild, round up. Like, I do want to do a Dega race someday and go in the infield. Because I heard some crazy shit happens in that infield. Mainly the whole fucking butthole thing. Like, I even heard that Saturday for Dega Boulevard party, they now have stripper poles there, too. And yes, they had ladies on there stripping and flashing their titties and showing butthole. Because that's what everyone at Dega wants, is some butthole. Thank you, Andrew Callahan from Channel 5 and All Gas No Brakes for bringing that great video to us a few years ago. Because boobs are overrated. But yeah. So yeah, Dega infield, they now got enough in the budget to afford 2 stripper poles. Maybe someday they'll have enough in the budget to throw some lights on and around the track so we can have a Dega night race. But we'll have to see. That's a time will tell deal. Maybe next year they'll have 5 stripper poles on Dega Boulevard. We'll have to see. I mean, hey, we can all dream, damn it. Like, to be perfect, let's be real. If anyone's getting weirded out by this whole Dega Boulevard infield party talking, let me just weird you out with this one last tip. You have a better chance at losing your virginity in the Dega infield than you do at prom. There. Now that I weirded everybody else and just got everyone confused there, let's go back to the race. So in the end, this race ended up being a 2-lap shootout for the win. And when it looked like, and Eric Jones for some reason decided to choose the outside line and have Chastain push him. And Chastain completely shit the bed on the push. But when it looked like Blaney was going to pull away, Chase Elliott then made a big move to go to the outside and have Eric Jones push him. So then it became a duel between Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott, where Chase Elliott would then get a run on the outside, because when it looked like Blaney was going to block Chase, Blaney chose not to and chose to stay in line. Like, honestly, I don't know why the fuck Blaney didn't block Chase Elliott there. Like, if you see him coming, go get the fuck up there and block him. Like, you're racing for a win at Talladega. Fucking block the fucker. Block the fucker. There's no rule against blocking on super speedways. Just block Chase. Like, all Blaney had to do to win this race was block Chase. If he blocked Chase, he would have won. Because they wanted to got another run back to the line. But in the end, coming off turn 4, after Chase got to the outside and it became a drag race, it was all going to be about who got the better push. Would Blaney get a good push from McDowell? Or would Chase Elliott get a big push from Eric Jones? In the end, it was Chase Elliott that got the big push from Jones. And Chase Elliott would rocket ahead. And then in the drag race to the line, Chase Elliott would beat out Ryan Blaney and McDowell. And Chase Elliott gets the win at Talladega on a last lap pass. So very good Talladega race. Great racing at Dega. And Chase Elliott gets his second ever win at Talladega. So Chase Elliott wins in the land of the buttholes. So yeah, Chase Elliott gets his 5th win of the season. And this is HMS's 10th win in the year. And this is actually win number 290 for HMS. Which means HMS is only 10 wins away from 300 wins. Not that far away from the milestone. But yeah, Chase Elliott gets the win. And for the first time in the chase this year, we had a chase driver win a race in the chase. So yeah, Chase Elliott's the first chase driver to win in the chase this year. And Chase Elliott is the first to punch his ticket to the round of 8. So Chase Elliott is officially moving on to the round of 8. He goes on to the next round automatically with the win. So yeah, Chase Elliott's quest for his second title in 3 years continues on. So that means entering the Roval next week, we have 7 spots still up for grabs. And this means Chase Elliott doesn't even have to win the Roval next week, because he's good either way. I don't know, maybe Chase says fuck it and tries to go for more momentum. Plus, the Roval is also your last chance to get any bonus points for the next round, since all those bonus points you accumulated from the wins and stages and shit from the regular season, they carry on with you throughout the chase. So maybe Chase wants to go get 5 more bonus points to try and help himself if he has to make it in on points for the final 4. We'll have to see. But yeah, honestly, watch Chase Elliott still win the Roval anyway, because fuck it, why not? But yeah. So yeah, Chase Elliott gets his 5th win of the season, winning at Talladega. So yeah, HMS, they also won half of the plate races this year, because they swept Atlanta with Byron and Elliott, and now Chase Elliott wins at Talladega. So yeah, Chase Elliott now has 3 super speedway wins / plate wins. So yeah, great move from Chase Elliott to get to the outside. But yeah, that moment when NASCAR needed a good race at Talladega with all the shit that's been going on the last couple of weeks and months, they got a good race. No one died. No one got hurt this week. It was a really good weekend for NASCAR. Well, other than the truck race, but still, that's just trucks. But prayers to Jordan Anderson, though. But yeah, good racing this week. No big wrecks. Everyone took care of each other. This was something NASCAR needed to have happen this week, and it got it. Despite all the controversy, they still had a good race at Talladega. But anyway, now with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and let's look at the points entering the Roval and the truck race at Homestead in a couple weeks. So, starting off, we have the Truck Series Chase Grid standings entering the cutoff race at Homestead, Miami. 3 spots still up for grabs. Chandler Smith is in a really good position. I think he'll make the round. He'll make the final 4. He's 30 points to the good. He got St. Smith 18 to the good. But that 4th spot is when it gets interesting, because Ben Rhodes is only 3 points to the good. Eckes is 3 to the good, and Friesen's only 3 back. So yeah, Eckes and Friesen only 3 points back, and John Hunter Nemechek is 5 points back. And then Grant Enfinger, he's 29 points out. For Enfinger, he's simply in a must-win scenario. Like, Enfinger has to win Homestead if he wants to have a shot at the championship this year and make the Final 4. But yeah, other than that, though, it's very close between 4th through 7th. As 4th through 7th are only separated by 5 points, so it's going to be very close for those 2 spots. But if Enfinger or someone below that cut line wins, then it gets a little bit interesting for that final spot. But I think Chandler Smith is pretty safe entering for Homestead. So I think Chandler Smith is in. And I think if St. Smith stays out of trouble, I think he's good. But that 4th spot is when it gets interesting. So now on to the Xfinity Chase standings. So 2 spots are good. 6 spots still up for grabs at the Roval. So Ty Gibbs and Austin Hill, they're pretty good on points. They will move on to the next round. They get enough stage points, they can lock themselves in after stage 2. Barry and Allgaier, I think they're in pretty good positions on points too, so I think they're safe too. But the last 2 spots and when it gets a little tight, Sam Mayer only 12 points to the good. Like, Mayer just needs to have a solid race at the Roval and stay out of trouble. And I think he can get it to the next round. And then you got Ryan Sieg. He's only holds the final spot by 6 points ahead of Daniel Hemrick, who's 6 points out. And then Riley Herbst and Brandon Jones are both 10 points out each. So Herbst and Jones either need to win at the Roval or need to have a solid run. And hope that Sieg and Hemrick both all struggle. Or maybe even Sam Mayer. But yeah, for that situation, Jeremy Clements, his only hope is to win the race. He is not making up 47 points in one race. But Jeremy Clements, he has to win at the Roval next week if he wants to have a chance to move on. But if Jeremy Clements wins, then that bracket gets a little bit tighter in the field. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens at the Roval and see who moves on and who gets sent to Elimination Station and to the Death Note. And now we get to the Cup Series Chase Grid entering the Charlotte Roval next week. So Elliott's the only driver safe on points entering the Roval. Got Ryan Blaney, he's 32 points to the good, and Chastain and Hamlin are 28 and 21 to the good. I think those 3 are safe for sure. I mean, if they get enough stage points, they could be in a really good position. Not have to worry about falling out, so I'm not worried about those 3. Logano and Kyle Larson are 18 points to the good entering the Roval. Both of them just need to have solid runs, stay out of trouble, get some stage points, and I think those 2 will be safe. Same deal with Suarez being 12 points out. Suarez just needs to stay clean, have a solid run, and he can move on to the round of 8. But that final spot is when it gets interesting, because for the final spot is a tie between Chase Briscoe and Austin Cindric. And right now, Chase Briscoe has the tiebreaker over Cindric because in the Chase tiebreakers are best finish in the round. And Chase Briscoe has the best finish currently with a 5th place finish. So yeah, really out of those 2, whoever can get the most stage points and finish the highest can get that spot. William Byron, we're not sure what his status is going to be. If he's going to be 18 points to the good, 11 points out, or if he's going to be 14 to the good, because we have his appeal coming up, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday. At least we'll know if Byron is going to win, if that Byron is point situation before the Roval instead of after when the field's already decided. So his is up in the air. If they win the appeal, then he's 14 points to the good. If they lose, he stays 11 out. So Byron, he just needs to have a solid run at the Roval and try and gain some points and hope Cindric or Briscoe struggle. And then Christopher Bell, he's in a must-win scenario. He has to win the Roval if he wants to have a chance. And Alex Bowman, we're not sure what his status is going to be until Wednesday. But if Bowman's cleared, then Bowman has to win the race too. So you got 2 drivers that must wins. Bowman has to win or he's going home early in the second round again. But if Bowman's not cleared, then Bowman's not cleared by Wednesday, then Bowman could be eliminated Wednesday without having a chance to race. But yeah, that's the chase grid for everybody. So yeah, at least there's gonna be no more jinxing for the Roval, right? God damn it, Darian. Can you shut the fuck up for once? Now Ryan Blaney's gonna get eliminated Sunday because of you, you asshole. Fuck you.